makes his promotional debut on short notice as he looks to shock the world and defend the land against Vladyslav Rudniev, a four-time combat sambo world champion and Ukrainian combat sports legend, fighting internationally for the first time in MMA. Coming up next, Anthony "Lawmass" Dizy takes on Vladyslav Rudniev in a lightweight bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on with our co-main event of the evening, we'd like to give a major shout out to our global partners, Green Hill, Brave Gym, Brave Athleisure, and KHK Media Group. Let's welcome our first warrior into the Brave CF Arena for our co-main event of the evening. Please welcome, out of the blue corner, representing Vochanchin Gym and fighting out of Kiev, Ukraine, please welcome Vladyslav Rudniev.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the greatest combat sambo athlete to ever step foot inside the Brave Arena. You are looking at Vladyslav Rudniev, a three-time European combat sambo champion, a four-time combat sambo world champion, undefeated as a professional at 6-0 with 3 finishes. I did a little bit of a promo for this guy a couple of days ago, and I'll repeat what I said. He's now developed knockout power, and that's something we see with guys that come from a grapple-heavy base. They find that they have the ability to knock people out. And coming from the southpaw stance, he is one of the trickiest, most unorthodox exponents of combat sambo. Very, very exciting prospect, making his Brave Combat Federation debut here tonight.
It comes out of the Vochanchin Gym. If there is a single figure, one single figure in the entire history of the sport that I think has not gotten the recognition he earned, it is Igor Vochanchin, owner of Vochanchin Gym. He was the king of the 8-man tournament, won I don't know how many of them over the years. Absolutely was a force of nature in the mixed martial arts cage, and now he's got a protege.
So much hype around this young man. We are going to see right now if the hype is for real. You can see undefeated, 4-time consecutive sambo world champion, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Incredible martial arts credentials, Kirk.
And let's welcome his opponent, out of the red corner, representing Europe top team.
Taking the fight on. What a Stapleton, Darian. Nothing left to do but throw it up to the roaring lion, Mr. Carlos Kramer, for official introductions.
All right, Brave Nation. This next battle is our co-main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 6 wins and no losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.5 kilograms. Representing Vochanchin Gym and fighting out of Kiev, Ukraine, please welcome Vladyslav Rudniev. Introducing his opponent, fighting him, and Vladyslav.
This is the co-main event of Brave Combat Federation at 74, live from Nantes, France. And again, an absolutely huge opportunity for Anthony Lamas Dizy. Keep an eye on that big right hand, sorry, that big left hand from Rudniev. And I'm not sure this is the smartest tact for Dizy to be in the clinch with somebody like Rudniev.
Once those hips are pushed up against the Brave Combat Federation cage, they don't have the leverage to throw hard shots.
An incredibly talented grappler is Rudniev.
Phil, we know who's stronger. It's evident right in front of us. It is Honey Rudniev. He is forcing his opponents back up against the cage and keeping it there.
Oh, tried the hip throw, almost gave his back up. Now Anthony Dizy is the man on top. This is not going down the way Rudniev planned it.
Rudniev still not able to get to guard. In the very definition of an awkward position. Needs to make a little bit of distance. There's one hook in, Phil. Second hook denied.
I think he's going to have to
The
abandon
head
it.
comes out. It's going to be reversal of positions, and there it is. There's one hook in, Phil.
It'll be interesting to see if he can. Oh, and he's just chooses to close in the inverted half guard.
Closing just below that hip can be a very effective way to set up several submissions. Maybe a little bit too high.
Nice work from Dizy just to cup the back of the head there and try and pull that down, and in doing so reverses the position, finds himself inside the guard of Rudniev. That was veteran savvy from Anthony Dizy.
Dizy now trying to pass to half guard.
Right now Rudniev feeling the full weight of Lamas.
Got an elevator in. Let's see what Rudniev can do with it.
Rudniev is pretty savvy off his back. His two submission wins are via triangle.
He's got one foot in the hip to distance manage. One elevator in on his right side he can use to try and distance manage, maybe even turn the fighter over.
He's pulling that guard up pretty high.
Trying to get a triangle, but
I think he needs to be careful. He doesn't have the leg free.
that foot gets free. There is the threat of a triangle. And that foot is free. Got to control that head, though. No head control, no triangle.
Anthony Dizy just
doesn't count.
Anthony Dizy just chooses to punch his way out of the triangle.
Crowd singing along, very, very happily, Brave Nation.
This atmosphere is incredible.
There's danger again from the triangle. Not heavy danger, but danger.
I think Anthony Dizy, being the savvy veteran that he is, will be acutely aware of the submission threat. Obviously didn't feel like it was a huge threat because he was happy to be in that position.
Toes are getting pulled out of that cage. Cannot stop the guard pass by jamming your fingers or your toes into that cage.
Nice work by the referee. Seen it happen straight away. Wasn't letting Rudniev away with anything. And this is the style of fight that Anthony Dizy absolutely thrives in. Taking the back.
Rudniev's got to press his body. He's got two hooks in now. May want to drop down tripod, throw his opponent over the top. He's past that arm. You have to have your head on the opposite side of the arm that's threatening.
Oh, big shots being landed by Dizy. Trying to get the face bar.
Got a face crank in play.
Oh, he's gone palm to palm grip on it.
Not pleasant, but rarely stops a fight.
Dizy has to make adjustments here. I said this was potentially the toughest fight in career of Anthony Dizy. So far, it's turned out to be the toughest fight in the career of Vladyslav Rudniev.
Vladyslav is a 4-time world champion in combat sambo. FWIW, for what it's worth, I do believe combat sambo is the single best base for MMA.
This beautiful jiu-jitsu from Dizy.
Round one ends very, very exciting. 5 minutes.
Anthony Dizy showing every single bit of his veteran savvy.
Phil, just a play judge, and we are not official judges. We are just playing ones on television. Who'd you like in that round? 10-9, 9-10.
I'd be inclined, gun to my head, I would say Anthony Dizy for the time spent ground control, threatening with a submission, reversing the position.
I'm feeling the same way, and I'm also feeling, as you are, that it was a razor thin.
But like we say, we're not here in the capacity as a judge. We're here calling the fights, and we're not viewing the fights as analytically as a judge would perhaps.
Indeed we are not, and there is a saying in this sport, never leave it in the hands of the judges. These two fighters are doing everything in their power not to leave it in the hands of the judges.
For the first time tonight in Brave Combat Federation 74, we are going to a second round. Big deep breaths from both men, not fatigued, but bracing themselves for the inevitable war of attrition that is about to happen right now.
Dizy may be shaking a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of lactic acid out of his forearms. May have squeezed on that face lock just a little bit more than he wants to. When those forearms tense up, there's a characteristic wiggling of the hand that we just saw.
Rudniev trying to find a home early for the big left hand. Oh, beautiful check hook. I think Dizy's going to be the one who wants to close the distance and straight in on the takedown.
Gonna have to choose a side, let go on one, take the other, reverse so far with a body lock.
50-50 right now, I'd say. Potential for an armbar or...
That arm's extended.
What is Anthony Dizy made of? Look at the
Switching down to a key lock, back to the straight arm bar.
Look at the expression on the face of Rudniev. He's putting everything into this.
Head's being scissored too.
Anthony Dizy is made of rubber. Wow. Rudniev setting into the guillotine. Doesn't have the hands connected. You wonder just how much damage that has done to the arm of Anthony Dizy.
Note what, Brave Nation, note what Phil just said. A submission, even if it doesn't work, can cause actual damage to the body. The elbow may well be compromised.
The longer the fight goes, the more the swelling might start around the arm.
A little bit more pressure being applied.
But look, Rudniev's putting everything into it. Dizy's not even grimacing one little bit.
The arm, the elbow is far too high to typically get a submission from here.
I think
predict that head's gonna pop out.
The corner of Rudniev need to tell him that he doesn't have this submission, because he is putting everything into it. What he's going to do then is burn out his arms.
Try to use it as a turnover, as a sweep. Was unsuccessful in that regard. Unsuccessful with that choke attempt, and those forearms may be feeling a little heavy right now.
This is undoubtedly the deepest waters that Vladyslav Rudniev has found himself in his professional career. Anthony Dizy using every little bit of veteran savvy to stay in this fight.
We are halfway through this fight, Brave Nation. Rudniev showing absolutely fantastic conditioning.
Oh, he's trying to get that triangle again, but beautiful smash pass from Anthony Dizy.
Rudniev's got his hips up against the cage to stop that second hook from going in. If he moves away from the cage, he could be in danger.
He's trying to roll with the... Oh, he may have spiked himself on his head.
Trying to shelf those legs with a half Nelson in place. Half typically not used as a submission in this sport.
A little bit of catch as catch can going on right now.
Can reach that left hand in, what's called a three-quarter Nelson, and compromise breathing.
Vladyslav Rudniev trying everything he can to get himself back into this fight. And now we know why Anthony Dizy is called La Masse, because he has just been like a fire blanket on top of Rudniev, not giving him any space with which to work. But this is a little bit more productive from Rudniev.
Rudniev separates, calling his opponent out, lands a jab.
He wobbled him a little bit there with the straight. Oh, big swing and a miss. Into a scramble though.
Dizy out on his feet, Phil. Television lights are biting hard into his conditioning.
Dizy by name, Dizy by nature. One of those shots just put him on Queer Street.
Could be a knee to the legs coming up.
Oh, is Rudniev trying to work
a little bit too high. Rudniev likely wants to cross-face to break that single attempt.
You wonder how much fatigue is going to play a role in this fight, given that Anthony Dizy didn't have a full camp to prepare. Rudniev did.
Who'd you like in that round?
Again, Carrick, I would be inclined to say 10-9 Dizy. With the takedowns, the positional dominance, he was landing strikes from the guard. It was only really the last minute or so that Rudniev was a little bit more productive. But I don't.
If that's right, and we don't know, of course, we don't know whether it's right or not. If that's right, Vladyslav Rudniev needs to finish his opponent in this, the third and final round. His corner is telling him right now, you got 5 minutes to win this fight. His corner has decided they cannot count on this being a 19-19 fight. They're telling him, you've got 5 minutes, son. You've got 5 minutes to end this fight.
There you see the armbar attempt from the Kimura to the armbar. And Rudniev really puts everything into his submission attempts, doesn't he?
This is going to come down to Dizy's recovery. If you're in good shape, even if you get completely exhausted, 60 seconds later, your heart rate is well below 100. You can fight again for 5 minutes. This was a
voiture de location, vol et hébergement. Avec un
short notice fight. We're going to find out in about the first 30 seconds or so if Anthony La Masse Dizy is in his peak condition and has recovered fully.
He looks a little bit unsure on the feet.
Arms look a little loose. Jaw looks a little slack. Feet are not bouncing the way they need to. Weight transferred to the back foot, which is not good in this sport.
Rudniev is trying to find that one big hitter-quitter knockout shot, but it's when you go looking for the knockout shot, invariably you don't find it.
Best way to look for it is hit the body and hit the head. There we go. Go to the body and then the head.
Oh, Dizy looks a little bit tired. Those 10 minutes of action that preceded this, I think have really taken a toll.
He's answering back, but he is not winning right now. Brave Nation, once you see a fighter's weight transfer onto that back foot, they cannot fight.
Good, solid sprawl from Vladyslav Rudniev. But Dizy has a hold of that single. Lets it go. And surely if you're Vladyslav Rudniev, you're standing up and backing off.
You want to stand up right now, and he's waiting for the head to pop up, and then he's going to smack at something fierce.
It looked like he was trying to set up the knee there, but Dizy was what?
Oh, ninja choke attempt!
Rudniev smells a little bit of blood in the water here, Carrick.
Again, honey's got to go to the body and then the head. Don't just headhunt. Throw the looping shots, throw the straight shots, get him thinking low.
Little clash of heads there, accidental, of course. You have to give Anthony Dizy credit for being able to stick this kind of pace and still be in the fight. Rudniev trying to take it back here, needs to get a hook in. Anthony Dizy is running on fumes right now.
Rudniev maybe a little bit high again. We saw him get shucked off earlier. He was a little bit high, managed to stay on the back with a technique I'm not sure I've ever seen before. Call it a double donkey kick. Looking for a face crank. Probably not going to get the tap, but probably going to cause some damage.
May try and work for the triangle from this position. I've seldom seen TP choke. Haven't seen that in a very long time. Doesn't have the arms, doesn't have an arm in for the triangle.
It would be rare indeed if that ended the fight.
Rudniev needs to abandon this. I don't think he's going to get the tap just with the legs.
Mouthpiece came out. Rudniev's mouthpiece is out. Referee's going to wait until there's a natural break in the action. No, I cannot tell whose mouthpiece is out.
Mouthpiece. Coming up to the final 90 seconds of what has been an absolute war.
Referee looking to put that mouthpiece back in, I do believe.
Good work. All right, now Dizy takes the back. This fight has been crazy. The momentum shifting back and forth. The old lion, the veteran Anthony Dizy trying to take out the 6-0 upstart Vladyslav Rudniev.
If Rudniev's going to win it, he's got about 1 minute. Going back to the body. Likely means a headshot's going to follow.
Both these fighters are running on pure heart and adrenaline.
Victory roll attempt was thwarted.
And like Dizy's the man on top again. How do you even begin to break down this third round, Kirk? With great difficulty is the answer. Trying to roll again. Vladyslav Rudniev ends up on top.
And Dizy decides to take a little rest. Drops to those knees, covers the head. We got one hook in, one hook only. Dizy still fighting, looking for a leg to grab onto. Then he'll get those hips out of there. Try and put his opponent on his back. 10 seconds now.
Rudniev in the mounted position, needs to go all out. Land huge strikes, leave something definitive in the eyes. Oh, these are huge shots, and it's all over. 3 rounds of action. We go to the judges' scorecards. Wow.
Brave Nation, everybody likes the fast finishes, and they were delivered. But a fight like that, everybody loves that fight.
What an absolute war. What, as like you say, we've had incredible first round knockouts, but there's something a little bit special about two guys that are so evenly matched. They just trade with the hands, trade position. Some of the transitions there were incredible.
Here we're seeing Honey Rudniev on top. This was the ninja choke he almost had, but for about a half an inch of forearm space. That could have been it right there.
Bonjour, le rachat de Twitter par Elon Musk n'était que la première étape d'un projet pharaonique.
For the first time tonight, we go to the judges' scorecards.
Rudniev got a little high, and he threw those legs back, cranked on the face for all he was worth.
And it's like we say, a fight like that, you hate to see somebody lose, but wow.
As a stone fact, Phil, both these fighters made a lot of fans tonight. This is a very nearly sold out crowd here at H Arena in Nantes, France. The 29th nation on the Brave Combat Federation World Tour, setting a world global record for the most nations visited by any MMA promotion in history. I don't like these French fans. I love them. They are knowledgeable. They are respectful. They are partisan, but they will cheer just as loudly for the opponent. There is a little bit of time being taken now to check all three judges' scorecards. The head official will collect all three cards and then do the math. And then, if it's close, if it's a split decision, have somebody dot the I's, cross the T's, then it gets handed over to the Los, to Carlos Kramer, to the Roaring Lion of Brave, and he is going to tell us who won this fight.
All right, Brave Nation, what an incredible co-main event we had. After 3 amazing rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, Vladyslav Rudniev!